When you look back at the greatest victories in history, it's easy to imagine that brute force and sheer numbers were the deciding factors. But the truth is, history's most legendary wins weren't achieved with muscle alone. Behind every famous conquest, there's a story of cunning, creativity, and outsmarting the enemy. The real game-changers were the minds that could see beyond the obvious, turning the tide with a single brilliant move. It was the smartest moves, the ones that seemed almost impossible or outrageous at the time, that changed everything. These strategies didn't just win battles. They rewrote the rules of war and left a mark on history that's still studied today. So, are you ready to uncover the secrets behind the headlines? Every epic war story isn't just about massive armies clashing on open fields. It's about the clever maneuvers, the unexpected twists, and the leaders who dared to think differently. Sometimes the smallest decision or the boldest risk can change the fate of nations. Let's break down 3 military strategies that didn't just win battles, they flipped the course of history on its head and inspired generations of tacticians to come. First up, the legendary Trojan horse. This isn't just a myth, it's a masterclass in psychological warfare. Picture ancient Greece. After years of brutal siege, the Greeks appeared to give up, leaving behind a giant wooden horse as a supposed gift of surrender. The city of Troy, exhausted and eager to celebrate, believed the war was finally over. But inside that horse, hidden from view, were Greek soldiers waiting for nightfall. The Trojans, thinking they'd won, brought the horse inside their fortified city walls. The Greeks had tricked the Trojans into opening their gates, literally inviting the enemy inside. That single act of deception led to the fall of Troy and became a symbol of cunning strategy for centuries. The Trojan horse is the blueprint for deception in war. Even today, militaries use similar tactics to mislead and outmaneuver their opponents. Next up, divide and rule. Julius Caesar didn't just storm into Gaul and take on every tribe at once. He knew that fighting a united enemy would be nearly impossible, so he used his wits instead. Caesar turned the tribes against each other, exploiting old rivalries and making deals with some while isolating others. By breaking their unity, he was able to conquer Gaul piece by piece, never facing the full force of his enemies at once. Divide and rule isn't just a battlefield tactic, it's a strategy still used by leaders in politics, business, and diplomacy. The power to control a situation often lies in knowing how to split your opposition. Finally, let's talk about Operation Fortitude. Fast forward to World War II. The Allies were preparing for D-Day, the largest seaborne invasion in history, but they needed to keep the Germans guessing about where the real attack would land. The plan? Make Hitler believe the invasion would happen somewhere else. The Allies used every trick in the book, fake radio transmissions, double agents, and misleading maps, to create a phantom army. They built inflatable tanks, set up decoy camps, and sent out endless fake communications. The deception was so convincing that German forces were caught off guard when the real invasion hit Normandy. Operation Fortitude worked. D-Day became a turning point in the war, leading to the liberation of Western Europe and changing the world forever. From Trojan tricks to ghost armies, history's greatest wins were battles of wits, not just weapons. These stories remind us that sometimes the sharpest mind is the most powerful weapon of all. But what happens when there's no strategy at all, just chaos? If you want a war story with zero planning and maximum mess, you'll love what's next. Check out The Deadly Molasses Tsunami. History's sticky crime unfolded. It's a disaster so bizarre you have to see it to believe it. Trust me, it's even wilder than it sounds. Sometimes the strangest stories are the ones that stick with us the longest.